So this is Ed and Paul with Tactical 21. We're going to talk today about a get home bag that I keep in my vehicle. So when building one of these bags, don't go out initially and spend a bunch of money on it. The bag is going to grow with you. The stuff that I have in these bags are based upon the area where I travel to and the environment. Also, it's going to be affected by your weather, the weather in your region. Obviously, if you're up north, you got to put a lot more stuff in here that will keep you nice and warm and protected from the weather. But for us down here in North Carolina and Virginia, it's a lighter bag. This bag probably weighs right now between 25 and 30 pounds of equipment that I have in here. I have multiple levels in this bag. The first level that I have right here, this is a detachable bag. It has a blowout kit, emergency kit with a tourniquet, blowout kit, basic IFAK for my use inside this bag that becomes detached from the main bag in case that I have to stash my main bag and just move around. This is my navigational and observation bag. Inside this bag, I have a tourniquet. I have a local maps that are weatherproof. I have my ocular so I can look at distance as well. I have my radio communications, so I have a nice radio in here. I have my extended antenna for that radio in place. Also in the bag with my maps, I have the transmission codes and channels for repeaters, local repeaters in the areas that I go to. And that's going to facilitate for me to jump up and maintain communications for someone that is looking for me. Obviously, I have shared that with some of the important people like Paul that has my codes and the time frames in which I will get on comms so we can establish communications. I have an extra set of batteries, cam lights, flashlight, and obviously a very important magnetic compass for my navigation. Now, when you go out and get the maps and you print these maps, make sure that these maps have the coordinates on it and the grids. So that way, whoever you're talking to, they know exactly where you're at. If you go out and get a road map or what do they call those? Global maps that are, those things don't have grids. They don't have any of the coordinates and things like that. That's not going to be very effective for you unless they're familiar with the area where you're at. Beside that, on my main bag, I have a knife. And this is a fixed flame knife. It also has, this is a Gerber. It has a nice little tool in here that can help me fair rod so I can build fire with it. Why do I choose a fixed blade knife? Is because a folding knife is a broken knife, they say?
Well, it's a broken knife, but I mean, another good encouragement on the fixed blade, it's multi-use, right? So what are you going to use a blade for openly? Obviously, there's defensive skills if you're trained on how to use it, right? That's a good thing. But what else could you possibly use a knife for? Maybe you have to chop wood, for instance. With a fixed blade like that, you can use it for hard peening, where you can use either a hammer or something heavier and hit the back of the edge of the blade that's not sharpened, right? And you can use that to drive it through wood for creating wood for heat. If you need it for other things, building splints even,
Yes.
Those are designed to be multi-tools. And I don't want to take away from Ed here, but good call on the fixed blade. I like the size. I like the width of it too. And I would just encourage, when you look at blades, try to make them full tang, so where the blade goes all the way through the handle, not just partially stopping halfway, because that's really going to help with survivability.
Yes. So from the outside into the bag, I have a nice little area in here where I keep extra batteries. I have a Faraday bag where I will put my phone in to go dark, and any other things that I need, like a headlamp, charging cables. because I have a solar panel charging device also in the bag that I can put out and charge these devices if I need to. On the back of the bag, and I selected this bag because it has a concealed carry compartment as well as a bag, a water bag as well inside of it. So in my concealed compartment, I carry a 45 with about 30 rounds, 3 magazines in there. I put the holster for it inside the bag. The reason why I chose the 45 caliber is because my EDC is a 9mm, which more likely I will have on me in any kind of situations. But if I have to address a bigger than normal critter, I will use the 45 for that reason. Now, let's go on my other compartment. This compartment here, I have a camping towel. This thing works for, you can use this for starting a fire. You can dry yourself with it. You can dry your equipment with it as well. A beanie and a sweatshirt for weather. It is important to layer up in this type of situations. That's the best protection, is going to be layering up. Obviously, if it's the winter, I should already have a jacket in my vehicle. The sweatshirt and the beanie will help out with that. Now on the main component, extra socks, keep my feet dry. I have a MSR water pump. These things run about 130 bucks on Amazon, and it actually screws into my water bladder, and I can pump water right from any lake and fill up my water bladder with it because it screws in with it.
I just say no on the water system itself. So MSR is a really good brand. Not here to drop recommendation of brand only, but they are a pretty good one. I'll highly recommend, if you are thinking about doing this in an urban, semi-urban environment, or even something that's close to urban places, you want to really think about what your source of water is going to be if you're out moving around.
Mm-hmm.
Now here, like a pond that's on private property, you don't really have too much concern. But if you're pulling water, say, out of a urbanized setting, there's factories that are possibly dumping into that water source, you have a concern with having chemicals that could potentially be in that water, or toxins. The reason MSRs are better, and I'm not saying they're perfect, but they're better, is because of the micron and how deep they go for filtering out these chemicals. So you want it down to 0.02 micron is really the cutoff to get all those chemicals, so you're not drinking toxic water. Most filters, Ed has a really good one, but most filters you can buy generically are not going to go down that far. You just want to be diligent. Spend some money where you need it to be. Water's one of those things that we just don't want to compromise on. So highly encourage, I know you probably spent some cash on it, but water's one of those things personally for me, I'm willing to spend money on because you're going to use it. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So thanks. Sorry to cut you off.
No, and especially, you know, when it comes to a situation, this bag is built to be keep me out for about 4 days comfortably. Water is the thing that you're gonna need the most, especially when you're constantly moving. I'm not so worried about getting too much sleep and comfort on this. So, like Paul said, water is huge. I have a small battery charger that is solar with panels that I can charge all my equipment with. I have obviously some cleaning stuff for my firearms. I also have some dry food. This dry food, if I ration this, I can be 4 days and get enough calories to continue to move. I have some sticks, some meat sticks in here. These things are pretty good, live shells, so these things are like a couple of years. So obviously, any gear that you get, open it up, check it every 6 months or so, make the adjustments that you need to for your go bag. Some paracord. This thing is so handy, you can do all kinds of stuff with this, with a paracord, and I'll show you why this is so helpful in a second. Bug spray. You need some bug spray. and get the non-scented one, right? You don't want anybody to be smelling you a mile away if you spray this stuff on you. So bug spray, keep them bugs away from you.
Beanie hat.
A beanie hat.
Or a boonie hat.
A boonie hat, that's right. A boonie hat. This thing has been with me since Iraq. It's that old. And they still work. Keep the sun off you, being down. So I also have a poncho. This poncho I went and got the extra large. Obviously I'm not an extra large guy, but with the paracord I can make a shelter with this. I can also keep my bag dry if I have to with this thing. You know, don't go out and spend $100 in a poncho. You can get these things for like 20 bucks. Something nice and simple. I went with the Camouflage. Obviously, it's not a desert camouflage. It actually matches the environment of where I live. So that's important when selecting the camouflage pattern that you're gonna use. I have another fixed blade, small blade that I will put on myself in the bag. And then I have my little camping container. I can boil water with this. And I have my little stove. This is just a basic camping stove with, I also have my gas that goes with it and the holster for my 45. Other things that I have, and these are just equipment to make fire. I keep these dry. I have some kindling, a sponge. Those things, they light up pretty easy. Some other ways to make fire as well. Secondary, because two is one and one is none. When it comes to fire, you need it. Face paint. This will take, you know, this is something that if I'm doing some kind of evasion, I will definitely paint my face and my bullhead. Make it nice and camouflage so I don't reflect any light. If I have to stay in concealment and things like that, I will do that. I also have a nice little scarf inside here, very lightweight. It'll keep me nice and cool from the sun being on me. And then I already did that one. Where's my other one?
I think you got this one right here. You haven't done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my camping.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all in there. I think that's about it, guys, that I'm having here. But with this kind of stuff, I can stay out for about 4 days. It keeps me light, so I can move. I can detach my observations. So if I have to stash my bag, like I said earlier, somewhere, keep it hidden, move very fast, take a look at where I'm moving to, or any kind of threats ahead of time is important. You know, and if I put all this stuff together, I would say, you know, without the radios in it, I would say you're looking at probably somewhere around $400 worth of bag. Now, why should I have one of these bags? Well, times are dangerous these days. You know, the power grid can go down, terrorist attacks can happen. We are seeing that now happening pretty much every day here in our country. And my most important thing is that I need to get home so I can protect my family. So with that in mind, I created this bag. This bag stays in my vehicle 24 hours a day. And like I mentioned, every 6 months or so, I open the bag, go through the gear again, make sure that everything is functional. If I have to rotate my provisions and my meals, I do. MREs, you can purchase those now fairly inexpensive, and they have a shelf life of about 10 years. Those are good to put in there. You don't have to pack this thing up like you're going to a camping ground for leisure. This is just to keep you mobile and get you home. Because more likely, if you can't move on your vehicle, you're gonna have to do it by foot. And even if it's 100 miles away that you're traveling when something like this happens, it's gonna take you a while to get home. Not only because you're not gonna be walking down the highways, you're gonna be walking off the beaten paths. and you need to be prepared for that. So ahead of time, take a look at the locations that you go to, what you frequent, what you travel into, and adapt to be able to survive in those conditions. You have any suggestions, things that I should?
I really like what you have going on as far as the double bag system, just because it gives you that ability to kind of modulate it as you need to. We did this frequently back in the teams, and also in prior with the Marines, we had speedballs that we had in all of our trucks. Survivability, he's right on target, about 3 days, 4 days, right where you want to stay. You don't want to go too overloaded. I would really just focus yourselves as you're building out your go bags about what are some of those key kind of principles I should be thinking of. You have power for your communication systems. You have offset capability with his observation kit, right? He has medical pretty much covered. I will suggest one thing on medical. Guys, if you're needing to be on medications, and I'm talking like life-saving medications, because say you have an allergy problem and you need to carry epinephrine, some of those things, definitely make sure you have that redundancy built into your bags, okay? Because these bags you should be able to no kidding survive on for 3 days. So that would be one thing I just consider if you have anybody in your family that has some medication needs. Think about that. Other than that, I think you've got food covered. Just this is more nice to have if you can. One of the things that people really burn down on fast if you're having to survive is electrolytes. That can be part of your med kit, if you will, or just have some electrolytes you can mix with water because you got water covered. That's Rockstar. You're going to burn water like you don't believe it in terms of what you're going to need when you're moving out on using your what God gave you as opposed to vehicles. The only thing I would say maybe as a last minute suggestion, if it really does go to heck, think about having some extra cash, a few $100s tucked away somewhere, either in your bag, on your person, someplace you can get some cash that you can actually use just to even get some food, if you need to barter with somebody. These are things that I would just recommend having. But overall, dude, I like your bag. I like the setup. I think you did great with yours, dude. I really like the poncho because it's multi-use. I like the 550. I like the water, like I said. You got the cooking solution down. You got the food. You got the med spread throughout. Dude, I think it's a solid setup, man.
Thank you. I got the approval.
Got the approval.
Nice, by the doc. Good. Awesome. Well, guys, if you liked our video, please hit us up, like and subscribe to our channel. We are Tactical 21. We have courses on survival, pistol, rifle, and precision shooting as well. Medical courses, leadership courses. Look us up, tactical21.com. That's where we're at.
Stay safe, guys. God bless.